the foremost thing that's really important to me is education. I've been involved with it over 30 years, and I've seen changes through the years, and that culture and our practices and our traditional knowledge is coming into the schools by way of elders and by practices out on the land, taking the kids out on the land and showing them, teaching them, being with them out on the land. And it's a big difference, like what they actually go through in the school, and then when they're out on the land, then the teaching staff notice a big difference, how the children act, and they're much calmer out on the land, and they listen more. Yeah, so being out there in their natural environment helps them a lot. The different programs they do have, like the cultural programs. Uh, the springtime is the one that's I think it's 2 to 3 days, and they're out there every day. They're working on beavers, ducks, fish, meat, and they get to take their whatever they worked on, they get to take it home, and the kids are just proud of it. I plucked this duck, I singed this duck, I made this dry fish, I made dry meat. You can hear it. It's your culture, and that is, you have to be proud of it, and you have to practice it. School also involves teaching staff too, because you have teaching staff that come from south. I have no idea of your culture and your practices and what's acceptable and not acceptable. So they do have to have that cultural, uh, cultural teaching. Yeah. I just came back from a meeting in Yellowknife, and this lady, she spoke of Indigenous education. She said, when you come into the school, close your eyes for like 10 seconds, open your eyes. Is your culture showing in the school? It's the first thing you see when you come into the school, is your culture there. Do you see your culture? Do you smell your culture? Because one gentleman said he smelled the moose hide when he came into the school, and she said, then you know your culture is in the school when you see it and you smell it and you feel it. Yeah, so I really took that to heart, and I want to make sure that it is in our school, that you see it, you feel it, and you could smell it. Maybe spruce boughs, that's the best smell I think in the world. One of the things that I never saw before, and that happened last year, was with the traditional medicine. They were making it up in the kitchen, and the kids were involved, and it was really, I was really touched by that. Going to school in my days, we never saw stuff like that. It was all stuff like that was never allowed in our school, but for that to be taught, the traditional medicine, for the kids to have that knowledge, that was just awesome for me. Yeah. Recording, talking to people, that's really important, and different people in all aspects of life, talking to, and letting others know, that's really important, because the information that you gather, if it's not shared, then it doesn't do any good. So share the information, and then it will work. I see it, helping others. You may have other communities that want to introduce their culture and their language into the schools, but don't know how. Maybe another community can give them notes, and other community who have gone beyond that may help other communities that have just haven't even started to bring the knowledge and the language and the culture into their schools. So by sharing it, I would see a big asset in it. You know, they know they have their language, their culture, and all that, but to pass it on, you have to. It has to be passed on, and the kids have to feel it, and participate in their traditional activities.